Welcome back to another episode of Private Parts with me, Liv Bentley.
And me, Tom Lucy. This is the podcast where nothing is off limits. And today we have a very, very special guest. She is a comedian, presenter, author, writer, and podcaster now.
An author and a writer.
Please welcome the fantastic Lou Sanders.
Oh, thank you. Lovely to be here. Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's. It is Valentine's
I
Day.
bought you a Valentine's present.
Did you?
Yeah, I did actually.
Is it a car?
I think it's Lou.
Oh my god.
Liv sells Lou.
Oh my god. I
Did you
can't
do that?
believe this. Thank you so much.
That's all right.
Is it a...
Women only presents. It's the new number.
Wow.
Oh
Lou, this is
my
so exciting.
god. Jealous of my orgasm, guys? Is this what you do then? You do this
I have
as
a
well?
sexual wellness company. Yeah.
Wow.
I can't believe this. You've never bought me anything.
What are you going to do with one of these?
Well, let's see what it is first.
Well, I think I know what it is. You shove it up your foodie. Thank you very much.
Just a reminder, we are on YouTube as well.
Well, good luck finding out what 50 means. Because I just made it up. That's lovely. Should I open it on
Open
air?
it,
you
yeah.
can-
I haven't seen this.
This
Is this the new
This
pro-
is the
the
new
new
Go on. I'll give you a demo.
exclusive on Lou's podcast.
Yeah, do you do video? Oh, you do video.
Yeah.
So, no, okay. That's lovely. Thank you so
That's all right.
much. I'll let you
You're
know
gonna
how.
open it.
No, you don't say that.
I'll let you know how I get on.
That's very sweet of you. I didn't know you were going to do that.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's just come
That
out?
we've just launched that. Yeah, it's called the Mojo.
Wow.
The Mojo.
Okay.
Yeah.
25 functions of vibration. Who's
25
Who's
functions?
putting it on the mild? Just whack it up to 10 and be done.
And call it a day.
The speed, get it over.
Anyway.
Well, you've got 25 different speed levels on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
We could go into this. There could be a whole other podcast, but
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very
Anyway.
exciting.
Yeah.
Very
nice.
Lou, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for
Have you
having
ever
me.
been have you ever been given a dildo when you've come on someone's show?
No, I've been told to take them out of the room.
Yeah. What's the weirdest thing you've been given by an audience member or?
Oh, I talked about this in an interview actually. So, am I boring? Have I got one story? But it was quite recent. Someone gave me a gift in a show. It was like a mixed bill show, and then they gave it to the stage manager, and it was a lovely gift. Sort of thing that I'm into, opposite of this really, but I'm not that I'm not into this, but it was more the Bible.
Yeah,
it was sort of with a crystal, you know, it's a crystal sort of thing, sculpture thing. But I was scared that it might have a camera in it, so I'm very scared of cameras, and it would be very easy to put. I don't want to give anyone ideas.
Yeah,
very easy to put cameras. Anyway, I did talk about that in an interview. So if you're obsessed with me, then you'll know that.
I'm a bit worried about this because I read these articles about Airbnbs where people put cameras like behind the clocks, and apparently it's very common.
Yeah,
but you can also buy on Amazon a device that scans the room and tells you if there's a camera.
Yeah, but they don't work because I've tried that, and it was going off like the clappers when I was filming for Unforgivable, like that. And I was like, said to the cameraman, I was like, "This is going off. It's going off." And then we like took the mirror off, we dismantled stuff, and we couldn't find any cameras. And it's really not very clear if there's cameras or not.
It is a sort of terrifying thought.
What would stop someone doing that if you're staying in an Airbnb?
A moral conscience.
Moral conscience. But I mean, it would be so easy to do that, wouldn't it?
It would be classed as revenge porn, wouldn't it? If they
they can't
sold
release
but
it.
there's a whole website that so there was this woman that took a plug away accidentally, like it was a charger for an iPhone, and she took it away, and then the guy was like, you've taken my charger, that's £80. And she's like, why is he so obsessed with this charger? And then her son like took it apart, and there was a camera in. And he'd auctioned it. There's a website you can watch people, like you can bid to watch people in a room.
Bizarre.
It's
That's
so mad.
fucking weird.
Yeah,
that's so odd.
That's so
that
bizarre.
makes me not want to leave my home.
There was that weird documentary about the hotel where the guy was like watching all the rooms. Do you remember
really?
that?
Well, you hear all those horror films called like The Landlord. Who's got like the.
Are you quite paranoid about that sort of thing?
No, I don't like spend my time thinking about it, but I did leave the present behind just in case, because it'd be like if you were like a fan of someone, it's like the easiest thing in the world to find out. Like,
what do you think about like when people from the audience like give you edible things like cakes, and would you eat something that someone had given you from the audience?
well, I'd look at their fingernails.
Yeah.
So funny that you say, I would do the exact same.
Yeah. But isn't that awful? I mean, also it depends how hungry I was. It's a few factors. You know, it's on instinct. Everything's on instinct, I think.
Because I heard a story about a really famous band, and this fan baked them a cake, and they cut into the cake backstage, and there was just a clump of hair in the cake.
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft, yeah.
That is witchcraft.
I don't think you'd want to eat something that someone gave you.
Well, I did it once. I was on a hen do in the south of France, and I met a man in the car park. It's one of those stories you also don't take sweets off a stranger.
Yeah.
Handed me a sweet, fucking ate it. It was a weed sweet. I then vomited my insides out for 3 days. It was awful. So actually, don't take sweets off strangers.
I think taking sweets off strangers in car parks.
But he was so sweet and charming, and I thought, what a lovely man.
They often are.
Giving me all his sweets.
No, but if a man offers you a puppy in a van, do get in there.
We were just talking before about your new podcast, which we're obsessed with the idea of.
A podcast in a sauna.
It's a podcast in a sauna.
A psychic told us to do it.
Yeah.
It's sort of got 2 titles, which again is not great for branding.
So this is you and your friend sitting in a sauna.
Yeah, and we interview people. We're going to have Paul Foot on.
Paul Foot's so funny.
Because his show is about enlightenment. So it's all about spiritual stuff. And because me and my friend Georgie love spiritual people, healers.
Do you like psychics?
I'm obsessed with it.
Really?
Do you like psychics?
I'm into the crystal thing, which is why it's a shame that you left a crystal behind. But no, I love all that.
Yeah.
I find it interesting.
Do you go and see a lot of psychics?
No.
No, but you're interested in
I'm
that.
into all this. I try not to ask the future.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've got some control over it, and then you don't want to get in your head and stuff. So try to just go to energy people instead.
What does that mean? What's the difference?
Like Reiki?
Yeah, no, more like just energy. Like if there's, I don't know, like if you're not feeling right about something, then I'll...
Is this when people like come to your house and they clear the bad energy?
What, like an exorcism?
No.
Yeah, but there's another word for it. What's it called?
No, it's like when you sage.
Clearing.
Yeah, like saging.
I just do it over Zoom, actually.
Right.
Because mine are in France and stuff.
Right.
Quebec, France, you know.
Yeah.
So, but energy works through space and time. I don't need to tell you that.
No, of course.
That's science, and that is science.
So is this what you're going to talk about on the podcast?
Yeah, I'm going to get a pet psychic on for the next episode to try and communicate with my 2 cats. One's got 3 paws, but I think she'll pick that up visually. She'll be like, this one had an accident. No, shit. And then we're going to get Paul Foot on because he did a show about being enlightened. He just had a sort of moment where his brain reconfigured itself.
Yeah.
Amazing show. And I said to him, I don't think you're enlightened. I think you're awakened.
Yeah.
But because not that I'm enlightened or awakened, but I was like, yeah, there's still a bit of ego there, babe, but it's still really good.
What is this? This is what happens when people like go and do ayahuasca, isn't it? And they have like
they see God.
They come back.
Oh my God.
Different.
My uncle went to do ayahuasca when he was 65.
Wow.
And he was very sick actually on the way home. And my stepdad was like, well, what do you expect? He's 65 in the jungle doing ayahuasca.
Did it help him anyway?
It probably does. He's amazing. He's an amazing guy. He's really into like, he's really, I don't know if I can speak about other people. You always feel a bit dodgy speaking about other people, but he's amazing. And I think he's on like a voyage of discovery.
But people who like a lot of taking it is being sick, from what I can gather.
Yeah,
it's like videos of people being sick.
My aunt did it, and she said you lie on a sort of mattressy thing in the middle of wherever it is, drink a tea, and then vomit all up.
And these people like look after you while you're...
You can save a bit of money and just sort of have rice that's out of date.
Yeah.
Or what was the licking of the toad that we were talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a spiritual thing or is that just a drug thing?
Drug.
Oh, just a drug thing.
Yeah.
Did Alex Mitten tell you that?
No.
Alex Mitten, he runs retreats.
He should come. He'd be great on your podcast.
Yeah, well, if you can drag him away from Ibiza.
Yeah. He'd be great.
Yeah, everyone's getting into this stuff now. I feel like everyone is.
It's a good time
People
to
used to
start
make
this.
fun of me for this stuff, and now everyone's into it.
But I love it. But it's all like the Mercury retrograde and all the moon and everyone's a lot more about that. But this week there was something to do with the moon.
Oh, full moon.
Yeah, that was
yesterday.
because I woke up crying 2 days in a row for no reason at all, and I'm not really like that.
No.
And then I saw my agent, and he said the same thing. So I think there is.
What?
I do believe in it. There is something.
And that's because there was a full
And then on
moon.
Wednesday something cleared.
No, she lost a big job. So
Yeah, fucking lost something of a big campaign. But yeah, I'm
so weird.
very much about
So
that.
you're going to sit with a guest. Does the guest have to be interested in this sort of thing?
They need to be something to do with the esoteric, I think.
Yeah.
Or they can have a good story. Like they can be funny, like a medium with a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'll sit. Is it quite dangerous to sit in a sauna for? How long are the podcast going to be?
No, because what I've also we're going to go sauna cold plunge, and then
It's like a wellness podcast.
Yeah, sort of. But I don't like the word wellness.
It's
No,
very.
I don't like it when I do, because what we call ours sexual wellness, but it sounds a bit odd.
Well, with the word sexual before wellness, it actually makes it a bit better, doesn't it?
Just wellness.
Wellness is a bit like,
Yeah.
Sit there having a green juice.
Yeah.
Do you think wellness is a slightly overdone word?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And also it's a bit sort of like, it's a bit like you feel a bit embarrassed because you're like, it's a bit middle class, which is fine, but it's a bit, you feel like it's a bit alienating for, you know, like I've got so much time on my hands. I'm going to get my astrology chart done, and you know what I mean? It's like, okay.
It is only something you can get into if you have a lot of time, isn't it?
yeah.
If you're stressed about paying bills, you're not really thinking about your wellness. When does that podcast start?
It's out. First one today.
Today. Wow.
First
14th,
one is finding its feet. I think it's going to
Feb.
have more structure going forward. And the first one wasn't actually in the sauna because the sauna hadn't arrived.
Where did you do the first one? In your bathroom?
No, just in the sort of in a room.
Yeah, you had a lot of
Podcast in a
questions
room.
for everyone here about the logistics of recording in a sauna.
Yeah, I've got the mics. That's fine in the sauna.
But the video.
The video is a problem.
Yeah.
But you know, as you said, if it's steamy, that's quite good because then your bits aren't on display, which is ideal, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's quite good.
Yeah, I think that's quite
good. And then
good,
just wipe a tiny bit off the camera.
Yeah. Oh, that's very sexual
you know.
wellness, isn't it?
Well, Jomo could sponsor it.
Yeah, I feel like there could be some sort of Jomo deal here.
Yeah, there's got to be a Jomo deal.
We're always desperate to get Jomo
My
into as much
CBD
as we
lube.
can.
Jomo's a good name as well. Mojo.
Jomo.
Jomo's the company.
It was the opposite of FOMO.
What? Hang
So
on, where
the
does it
name
say?
of the vibrator is That's called
Oh,
Mojo.
it's a
but
Jomo Mojo.
Yeah,
It's a
get
Jomo
your
Mojo.
back.
That is great. Jomo
It
Mojo.
is a good name, Jomo.
Yeah.
Created during lockdown when I'm sure
And-
people were
Yeah.
masturbating ferociously.
Yes, and lovely packaging.
Thanks.
And it's got to be a good time Valentine's Day to buy the...
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
well,
people
there you
go wild. Our biggest buyers are men. Which
Buying for their girlfriends,
yeah,
though.
obviously, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting, isn't it?
I would imagine, it's a good...
Would you ever go into a shop like Anne Summers and buy a vibrator?
I personally wouldn't know. But
in a balaclava.
Yeah.
And stealing iPhones at the same time.
I don't think I would, but I can imagine a lot of men would.
Oh, your poor girlfriend. No, only joking. I don't think I would. Well, I would.
I don't
and
think
have,
many
actually.
people would, you know.
I would just feel weird about being on my own in Ann Summers buying a vibrator. I would feel like all the women there would look at me like I was a creep.
I would pay you to go into Anne Summer. This is very immature.
Yeah, this is an idea for a podcast.
Yeah. Slam your fist down on the table. So, give me the biggest. No.
Yeah, we
but
could do that. That would be good. We did it. Well, you did it, and I came on as a guest of a great TV show called Unforgivable.
Yes, not been renewed for series 5.
Has
Hello.
it?
Rude.
Has it
I
not?
was watching it this morning. I think it's hilarious.
It is.
Oh, yeah,
I
it
know,
was
it's
so.
weird,
isn't it?
It was so funny.
I don't know why it's not been commissioned for series 5. But
We did 4 series.
we did. We had a good innings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so much fun.
It was yeah.
Oh, wait, did you do it?
I went on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you?
as a
Oh, I
guest.
just watched the one with Ryan and Clark when they turned the lights off. Said Ryan and Smile.
Why didn't you watch the one with your lovely
I know,
friend?
sorry,
You
Tom.
watch.
I saw the
It's
one with
okay.
Jamie.
Unbelievable.
Oh. Everyone but you. No, I've watched them all apart from yours, and I refuse.
I was on it with Lethal Bizzle. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What were your stories?
Together
I know
at
they were good,
Last.
but I can't remember them.
I told a story about.
Something to do with your mum's friend.
As is an
Oh
unforgivable
yeah.
story.
No, that was it. So I told one of the rounds was the mystery guest round,
Yeah.
and mine was that when I was at school, I got suspended for throwing a pumpkin at a teacher's head.
Yes.
And then that you tracked down the teacher.
Yeah.
And you brought her on as the mystery guest.
Not me personally, but yeah.
Which was really bizarre.
Yeah.
That you found this old teacher of mine and she came on.
That's
And
hilarious.
then
Did you?
she threw a pumpkin at me.
Did she actually?
And it really hurt.
He's such a pussy.
Yeah.
But you were very brave.
But I was very brave. Was the Unforgivable format, was that your idea or were you anything to do with the
No,
creation
I
of
had
that?
done a show about shame, and then so I think they thought like I'm being shameless and stuff. So I think
Yeah.
they thought I was a good ingredient to add to it, but someone else's. It was Jo Maney's idea.
Okay.
Yeah, she's brilliant producer.
What is your most unforgivable story?
Well,
Oh yeah, because you would never have been a guest on it. So did you ever have to tell
No, but I did
story?
I have said quite a few. I was like, I'm running out of stories because as we were trying to work out my role in the show, and then initially it was like to make the other guests feel like good because you've done so much horrific stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, but I'm gonna have to stop saying stuff I've done now because it's awful. But the one I got in trouble about was dropping a cat out the window, but I was like 6 and I thought it had 9 lives. The cat was absolutely fine, but I just thought, I don't know what I thought the cat would be fine. I wasn't trying to hurt the cat. I'm not a psychopath. I dropped it out the window. It was fine, but obviously not ideal. Now we know what we know, and we know what we
know about cats.
They don't have 9 lives at all. And I love cats so much, and I love animals so much. I'd never hurt an animal, but of course when people are watching shows, they haven't got sort of like, you're a kid, or you know what I mean? Like,
why did you tell that story and you got a lot of grief for it?
I got a bit of grief.
I guess if you talk about hurting animals, you are gonna. That does annoy people, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I didn't like. I would obviously never. You just goes without saying that you'd never.
Yeah.
And the fact I said my cat's got 3 legs now doesn't look good either. Does it? It got around, not on my watch. Yeah. And I paid £10,000 and tried everything I could to try and get the paw to be okay. I actually tried everything, and I actually had 3 healers on the cat, of course.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. And a vet, of course.
Yeah.
But
3 spiritual healers.
3 spiritual healers. And also the depression. He was so sad. I was just trying to make him cheer him up.
Depressed cat. How many cats do you have?
You should give him
2.
CBD.
Well, I got CBD to give him, and then I thought I don't want him to be a drugs lord.
No, it's a slippery slope, isn't it?
That was a waste of £40. Just sat in the cupboard.
So you did the show for 4 series.
Yeah.
Who was your favourite guest that came on?
Tom Lucy.
Obviously, present company excluded. Who was your favourite guest?
Well, I can't remember anything.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? Also, we can't reduce it.
No.
Because I can't remember.
It is so frustrating that it's not carrying on, because it's such a good idea for
It's such a good concept.
for a panel show.
We might get series 5. There might just be being mysterious. They haven't said no.
Yeah.
But they haven't said yes. And we did finish the last one about a year ago. So you join the dots.
Yeah. Because there aren't that many panel shows still. What is it? Just like Would I Lie to You now is probably like the last one.
What has happened to panel shows?
Well, they've all gone. I mean,
what is that? Just budget?
I think people watch them less and less.
But I think it's quite funny to sort of rinse celebrities.
Yeah. But Unforgivable was great.
I would never go on one because
Unforgivable had an actual format. A lot of them are just like comedians talking over each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
well, BBC bought it.
Yeah.
And that's that, really.
Yeah.
We'll send them this podcast.
It's okay. You've got a free dildo now. So
yeah, exactly. It's peaks and troughs.
And you've got
this industry, one day your show's being cancelled, the next day
you've got a
Have you done, Liv? Have you been on panel shows?
No, and I got asked it once, but I think I'd be too nervous. I'm actually a bit of a pussy with that kind of thing. I think also because I'm not obviously a comedian in the slightest, so I think the pressure of
the people who aren't comedians can be funnier than the comedians on those shows.
I'm quite a nervous character, I think. So I don't know if I would find it quite hard. Also, with it's not live though, is it? I swear so much, I'd be buggered.
Like, you swear? But they'll edit all that out, won't they?
I said cunt on a kids TV programme once.
Yeah.
No, I said bugger. No, I said bollocks. I said one of them. Anyway, everyone behind going, stop saying that. And I went, for fuck's sake. And then I walked off. It was awful.
Was it live?
Yeah.
T4. That's great. T4.
That's so funny.
It was at 4:00 in the afternoon. It was the worst. And actually, ever since then, I've been slightly scarred.
Stop. Oh.
That's kind of, I feel like when they book someone like you on it, that's what they want you to do. I know. Isn't it? That's what they want.
It would be good. The later evening stuff.
Yeah. The late night.
But I got asked to do one once. It was like news hour. It was some political thing. And I'm a bit thick. And I don't engage with that sort of chat. And I was standing there with 2 politicians. They asked me questions. And I was like, I just want to go out and have a fag.
What? Why were you on
it?
I have no idea.
News night?
Yeah, it was something like that. And I was standing there in a see-through top, which didn't help in the slightest. You could see my bra. It was 10:00 at night. And it was the whole thing was extraordinary.
So
I said to my agent afterwards, like, don't ever make me do shit like that again.
Why did they?
I have no idea. He thought it would be good.
That's such a
didn't benefit
TV producer's idea of let's get the MP for Sunderland and let's get
the lube owner.
Liv Bentley from Made in Chelsea.
So that's a bet that he's won a bet there.
It's great TV though. It's great TV.
For anyone watching 11:00 at night, but no, chat shows would be sort of funny.
Yeah, well, it's slightly sort of declining thing now,
Do
isn't it?
you find, with both of you actually, because you're comedians, do you think now, because of like the cancel culture, there are certain things that you won't discuss, or do you think you've had to rein in certain things of what you're saying in case it offends anyone, or no?
No, I think the world has become more sensitive, which is a good thing, or a lot of them, and the younger people have become more sort of...
I think a little oversensitive.
Sometimes, but I think it's nice to be compassionate. Like, so what I try and do is couch my thing in like more compassion, but I do think if they're being... people get offended about everything, and that's nonsense.
The problem.
Like, that is like, shut up and stop bringing your own ego to this.
Yeah.
Like, stop making it about you.
Yeah.
I don't want to punch down ever, or and you can talk about so many different things. It's like, why would you make people sad with your comedy? So I don't think you should ever make people sad, and I want to do comedy that's like makes people happier, not worse. But then I do sometimes think people are little bitches about stuff. It's like,
I think
get
I-
over
yeah, I
it.
think
They want to
sometimes-
be offended or something.
Yeah.
But then, it's like, why would you take the piss out of trans people? They've got
No,
too
see,
much
that's a
going
weird-
on.
yeah.
Yeah. Or I don't know. Yeah.
Feels like a weird group to attack, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, but that's it would be like being
Yeah.
racist. It's just
Yeah.
so stupid. Like that's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It's not actually even funny.
Are you going back on tour next
Tom
week?
does a lot of racist stuff.
Does
To be
he?
fair.
That's why
Yeah,
I'm quickly
he does.
moving on from
He's
it.
been cancelled.
Yeah,
He
very
does.
racist act.
And
actually.
people don't really get cancelled.
No, well, you're right that like a lot of the comedians that people describe as like they've been cancelled, they're like the biggest selling
But
comedians
wait, which
in the world.
comedians have actually been cancelled? Because
Well,
you think if you're a comedian, you
a lot
can
of
get
people
away
talk
with it
about
more.
like Dave Chappelle being cancelled, but he's like playing arenas all over the world. Ricky Gervais is playing arena, like all these people that everyone says, oh, they've been cancelled. They're not cancelled at all.
Yeah, and then the sexual allegations. It's very hard for people to want to come forward and put their name against it, so they're Googleable next to like being a victim and all that language around it. So the men just work again. It's like, you can't prove it. You've got nothing on me.
You're back on tour next week.
Yeah.
Because you haven't been
Lovely
cancelled.
link. Yes. Not back on tour, out on tour. I haven't been out yet.
Does the show have a theme, or is it?
It's about aging. Can we relate or not?
Aging.
Isn't it relatable? Well, you're both very young, but aging, trying not to become a boring, like trying not to become... God, I've got to work on the one-line sell, haven't I? Everything
about
sounds so
what's it
cheesy.
called?
When it's called No Kissing in the Bingo Hall.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like
Just-
that.
But how do you find that when you do a tour and people are like, what's it about? And you're like, oh,
Yeah, it's hard to describe it,
cringy.
isn't it?
And then you feel like, because really it's about aging joyfully, but that sounds so wanky. Like, bleh.
I don't know if I think I spent a long time, like, especially at the Edinburgh Festival, trying to, because you have to answer that question a lot there. What's your show
Yeah.
about? And you have to sort of come up with an idea. And then I think eventually you just sort of realise it doesn't really matter. People will
No.
come if they like you.
Yeah, but people are sometimes good at marketing.
You need like a sexy one-liner that
yeah,
like, gets people there.
and also like on these radio shows, you do loads of PR around the show and
Yeah.
everything. I'm like, no, I think the show's all right, really.
Yeah.
And it's like, I do think the show is
Yeah.
good, but I'm so bad at marketing.
How long is the tour going to last for?
Well, it's about 30 minutes in the first half. No, till May.
Till May. Very exciting.
Yeah.
How many shows a week do you do?
Between 2 and 4.
Oh God, it is a lot.
Yeah.
Do you like to, when you're on tour, do you like to be on tour away for the whole time? Or do you like to come back home all the time?
I want to get back to my cats.
Yeah.
Drop
It's
them
the
out that
cats,
window.
isn't it?
No, I
them
love my
out.
cats so much. It's pathetic, but I
Can you take the cats with you?
oh, I'd love to. I talk to them about it all the time. I said, look, if you're a bit more adventurous, or
Yeah.
know,
Look,
because
if
they
you
don't like it when I
If you
leave.
sorted your paw out.
Yeah, if you grew that leg back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to take them with me, but
Can't really do that with cats, can you?
No.
There are some comedians
Some
who
you
take
can.
their dogs on tour.
Yeah.
Alan Carr.
Do you take
takes
Lady
his-
on tour?
I've not done
Why?
that. Well, I haven't been on tour since we've had her, so I could do.
Oh.
Would you take-
I thought a lady was actually your girl.
No, but would you
Yeah.
take your girlfriend on tour?
I'd take my girlfriend on tour, yeah.
Poor girl.
Yeah. I think it's nice to not to have people with you that
Yeah.
make it fun.
Definitely, yeah. And then you think, well, even if this gig isn't as good as I want it to be.
At least we're having fun.
Yeah.
Are there other shows that you haven't done that you think you would enjoy?
I
would you do the Jungle?
I don't know. It depends who else was in it that year, but they don't
If
tell you.
Liv was
do
in
they?
it with you,
Yeah, if Liv was in it, I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be
That'd be
quite
nice.
funny. But no, it's such a thing, isn't it? If you get asked to a show, you always want to know who else
who
is
else
doing
is
it.
doing? Well, for doing something like that, it's a big deal. Who else is in it? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's sort of.
Because you're stuck with them
Yeah.
for 3
Yeah.
weeks without a
Liv
phone.
did a show called the Sidemen Challenge. Was it called Inside?
Oh yeah, Inside. And
Have
they
you heard about this? The Sidemen.
it's a YouTube thing. And it was basically they lock 10 of you up in this sort of warehouse. And I had no idea who else was doing it. And I thought it was sort of a joke. I shouldn't keep saying this. I thought it was like a bit of a laugh, like an old producer told me to do it. Anyway, get in there, take your phone. They take your phone off you. Luckily I could smoke. And it was all these sort of random TikTokers. I had no idea who the fuck they were, talking about gaming.
Yeah.
And there I am who sells fucking lubricant. And these people are sit on playing Switch or Twitch or something.
Yeah.
Had nothing in common.
See, that's what would get me the most, is if you had no one in there who you felt you could actually talk to.
And I felt older. They were like 20.
Yeah.
And all like buzzing for it, whereas I was
then
like a
so many
washed up
people
reality
watched that
star.
show.
So then 7 million tuned in for the first episode.
Yeah.
And I thought,
No.
fucking Jesus. So then I started getting
You're
sort of
sitting
like
there smoking. This will never make it.
And I've got like
thinking my career was over.
I have family that live in like Hong Kong, and their son is 14, and he was texting me going, "Oh, I'm watching Liv on Inside."
Yeah, because now
it was like loads. Of
that's
people
why I
watched
get
it.
weird responses when I put Q&As up for the podcast. It's because my audience is 18-year-old
Yeah,
boys
it's
talking
through
about
that,
wanking
yeah.
all the time. But are they going to
Lou,
buy my
we gotta-
vibrator? Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Lou, we got to get you on Inside with the Sidemen.
Yeah, it sounds awful, but yeah, I'll do it. I mean, of course I'll do it. No, the shows I'd like to do. I'd like to do a show where someone trains you up to get physically fit.
Like SAS.
Yeah, but like they train you before the show. No one's got the budget, but they.
You mean like you'd like to be in a Marvel movie?
Yeah, I think I just want to get fit, but I want someone to pay me to do it.
Yeah, like a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna come back in part 2 with some. We put out some unforgivable polls on Instagram, and we've had some.
Before we get to that, I would like to hear your one first. What's the most unforgivable thing that you've done, other than throw this watermelon at a teacher? Not a watermelon, what's it called? Pumpkin.
Oh, let me have a think, and I'll come back in part 2 and I'll tell you. I'm trying to think what I did in what stories I told in the show.
I'll just extend my parking and then I'll be back.
Okay, you extend your parking. We'll come back in part 2.
Welcome back to part 2 of Private Parts with me, Liv Bentley.
And me, Tom Lucy, and our very special guest, Lou Sanders. Listen to that.
So-
5 people clapping. Lou.
We were going to get into...
Yeah, we've got some unforgivable dilemmas, questions, sort of things.
No, just
people have sent in.
unforgivable stories that
Oh, yeah.
people have admitted to.
It's quite shocking, actually. I didn't realise that we had such a sordid listenership. Well, it's mainly from your Instagram, to be honest.
A couple of perverts. No, but I'd like to hear yours first.
Oh yeah, well,
We have to say our own.
I told this on the show, I think, but I remember like 5 or 6 years ago, being in a pub that George Ezra was in. This was like at the height of George Ezra's Budapest sort of fame.
Yeah.
And sort of sitting at a table that he was at, and everyone was drinking a lot, and he got up to go to the bathroom, and I was quite drunk, and I thought it'd be funny to sort of pretend to trip him as he went to the loo, and I stuck my leg out and actually tripped him, and he fell and he shattered his ankle in this pub in Shepherd's Bush, and I was like mortified, and then I was like, God, I hope that this doesn't like have a big impact on his career. Anyway, that weekend he was playing the Pyramid stage at Glastonbury. That weekend, this was on like the Tuesday,
With
and
his
on the
shattered
Saturday,
ankle.
and he had to do his whole set sat on a stool
No,
with his leg. And if you go on YouTube and you
Pyramid
put George
design.
Ezra Glastonbury,
awful.
you'll see that he sat on a stool on the Pyramid stage with his leg in like a cast.
Have you ever
Yeah.
re-met him and said, I'm so sorry I fucked up
Yeah,
the Glastonbury
yeah. No, I think
performance?
he was good about it. He was fine about it, but that was pretty bad.
Doesn't he have depression or something? Is that from that?
Yeah, it might be from that. Yeah,
And also, have you been to my cat?
yeah. So that was
That's unforgivable.
That's
That
not
actually
great.
is unforgivable.
Have you ever? What's yours, Liv? Have you done something really awful?
You must have.
I know, I did one, but actually in the scheme of things, it's really not that unforgivable compared to that. Me and my sister once went over to my grandparents' house and claimed we were doing charity work. I said we were doing a walk for charity. Could we have some cash? We just wanted to get our nails done in the local town. So I took cash off them, saying I was walking, which actually I think is unforgivable because lying about charity work's not great.
They must have known.
I don't know. We fooled them pretty well. We made up a girl's name that we were walking for. It's actually really dark now that I think about it, so we shouldn't.
Made up a dead girl's name, you know. But our nails
Got
look
some
lovely.
photos.
Come back with a spray tan and a full manicure. But yeah, probably something like that. Because something involving charity and animals seems, when you're young, it's actually not that dark. But now, if I was to do something claiming it's for charity,
it's difficult.
It's a bit like, hang on, have we all watched Apple Cider Vinegar?
I've heard of it.
You need to watch. Have you watched this? No. Belle Gibson, who claimed basically that she had cured herself of cancer by eating healthily. It's shocking.
Oh yeah, I did hear about this.
Actually.
Yeah,
you need to watch it. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's just but she goes years go on that she's claimed she's been dying of brain cancer.
Wow.
It's shocking. Yeah. Anyway, that is
unforgivable. You seem like an apple cider vinegar sort of person. Are you into that?
I know what you mean, and do I have some in the cupboard? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But I don't take it regularly.
Have you ever been hungover and actually drunk it, thinking it was something else? We have it in the fridge at home, and I thought it was juice once. Knocked that puppy back on a Sunday morning. I was revolted.
Well, how are you meant to? You just meant to have a shot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, before bed apparently. You can have it with hot water before bed and in the morning, if you want. It's optional.
You don't have to. Okay, I'm going to read. This is quite a long story that's come in from one of our listeners, but Lou, I think we'll get your opinion on this. Okay, the subject is I am going to... Well, you can tell us whether this would make it on Unforgivable. It says, I am going to hell for this, which is punchy. A few years ago, I was at a big house party where I didn't know anyone except my best friend, who had taken me as her +1. It was a house party full of actors, comedians.
Hello.
Okay, where's this going? Actors, comedians, creatives in general, as was my best friend, and I could feel my social anxiety creeping in, that I was not interesting enough for this party.
Aww.
That's true, isn't it? We are all very interesting.
Yeah. No,
it's not
human
true.
beings, we're all...
She says, I worked in a bakery and loved it. Anyway, let me do that again. I worked in a bakery and loved it. Anyway, cut to 2 hours later, and I was so pissed, having a cigarette on the roof with some sweet girls I'd met outside, and the chat ended up getting quite deep and personal, as drunk chats often do, and I started opening up about my crippling anxiety, to which one other girl opened up about her depression, and so on, which was really nice. But we then sort of fell into an escalating pattern of out-trumping each other with our traumatic stories, and discussing childhoods that got worse and worse, as you do when you're drunk. No one was really listening, and out of nowhere, while one girl was opening up about her difficult relationship with her mum, I then confessed that my mum had gotten cancer a few years back, which was really tough. That isn't a lie, but the girls immediately reacted with huge sympathy, and before I knew it, they had assumed the worst, and I was being consoled about my dead mum. My mum is very much alive, but I didn't know how to correct them. For the rest of the night, they were so nice to me, and texted me the next day saying how much they're here for me if I ever need anything. I didn't even tell my best friend what I'd done. It's so bad. Can I be forgiven?
Oh, yeah, of course. And no, that wouldn't make it on the show. No, that's fine. When you're nervous and, and also sometimes if you're drunk, like the delay on stuff, and then it's like too late to go back. I mean, it is mad not to say. Yeah. It's absolutely bonkers not to say.
It's better than she saying, and my mum's dead. Yeah. Like that they assumed.
Yeah, they assumed, and then she didn't know how to get away. But I mean, it's just a bit silly, but it's not bad.
I can remember like when I was a kid being quite an attention seeker and telling some people that my parents were getting divorced just to get the sympathy.
You need to watch this Apple Cider Vinegar because that's how it all started.
Yeah, and I remember doing that purely because I wanted some attention and some sympathy. It's quite a weird thing to do, isn't it?
So your parents are still not divorced?
No, they're together.
That's mad.
But I just thought when I was like 7, and I thought people will all feel sorry for me.
What do you do for attention now?
Stand up. Stand up. And this podcast. Were you that sort of kid? Were you attention seeking?
Weirdly, well, not in that way, but I did sort of wear a ponytail in the middle of my face.
Yeah.
So it's just different things, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I genuinely thought, like, this looks really cool. Everyone's going to be doing. I was shocked when no one had copied me.
Ponytail in the middle of your face. What does that mean? Like
well, it was
front?
just like it was like that.
Oh yeah.
And it was like And I was like, why has no one thought of this? So it's that kind of thing.
Yeah. I remember that being a thing.
Really? Not in my school. Maybe because I'd done it.
No, we had the girls with the parting that was over that side.
Yeah.
Oh, I did
There
that,
was and
yeah.
everyone would
Oh,
stick
yeah.
their crick necks like that.
Yeah. That was a big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The first thing I did for attention, I think I was about 5 and we had a supply teacher, so I knew I could play up. And then she said, "I'll go and give the register to the headmaster." It's a little school, so you go and give the register. She'd picked me to do it. And then I flung open the door when I came back and I went, "I'm back!" And she told on me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's looking back, I think I was a bit of an attention. You must have been as well.
I wasn't actually. I
Were
was
you
quite
not?
a shy little child, yeah.
Really?
Were you actually?
Really shy.
That's sweet.
I had to have hypnotherapy because I was so shy. So I was
When
not.
did you have
I
hypnotherapy?
was 16.
Oh, bless your
'Cause you were
heart.
so-
No, because
nervous.
I was shy. Yeah, I was such a
Really?
little home person.
Yeah.
I was
Why?
never standing there, sort of. Yeah, I
Are you a
don't know what.
Cancer?
Virgo.
Star sign. Oh, okay.
Right, it's
Oh,
going to
yeah,
get
see,
all
that's
spiritual now, isn't
No,
it?
there's such a thing around the star signs. I like talking about the star signs, but if guys bring it up, I think it's a little odd.
What if men want
As
to
in,
talk
like,
about it?
if you were with a girlfriend and they said, "Oh, what star sign are you?" and then you talk about it,
Yeah.
there's something sort of normal about it. If you were on a date with a bloke and he straight up said, "Oh, you're a Cancer,"
Yeah.
you'd go, "Hang on."
Yeah.
I don't know why that is though. That's so judgmental on my part.
I
but
know what you mean, though.
it-
If I know what you mean, is it?
Is it more of a girly thing?
Yeah, I think if a guy's doing it, you sort of stop trying to learn the things to enter our world.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. But Virgo makes sense, though. They're often in the kitchen at parties and stuff, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a kid, I've got Virgo moon, and I quite like
Really?
having Virgo moon because it makes me, because otherwise it's all fire signs and it's too much. Like I need a tidy environment and like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and I'm okay at admin despite like being quite.
Have you always been interested in it, or is it something did something suddenly happen? When
No,
you were like,
no.
"Now I'm-"
I used to go to a healing church when I was 13,
Really?
and I used to like be able to guess people's star signs, but I can't now. Yeah, when I was like 15, me and my friend could guess people's star signs.
You lost
quite
that
well.
power.
I lost power, yeah. But I
That's
gained other
fascinating.
So
powers.
is your house incredibly tidy?
Well, I'm sort of having decorating done and stuff, so it's not as tidy as I would like. But usually, I can't really do my work till everything's away
Yeah.
in any room unless I'm.
Even in the kitchen on the counters.
Yeah.
You've got a boyfriend. He thinks it's fine to sort of leave things around. I can't have that.
No,
Isn't it?
clean,
Isn't it
right.
quite common that in a relationship though you get sort of one type and one of the other type?
I think so.
Yeah,
one
we were
person's
talking about
one
this.
person's always cleaning up after the other person.
Yeah.
You're the tidy one.
I'm the one cleaning up.
Really, I'd
Yeah.
love to see that.
Mm.
To see that.
Let's do some of the other.
We've got one more. This is another unforgivable one.
You read this.
I was once so hungover on my way to work, I thought I was going to vomit at any point during my journey. So I wrapped up in a big hoodie under my coat to get as much comfort and set off with my bottle of water. Whilst heading for the tube, which is a 50-minute commute in rush hour, I felt so rough and at my wit's end. So I bought a pregnancy badge and put it on my coat and accepted every seat offered to me by other
Nice.
caring commuters.
Nice.
So shameful.
Love
Nice.
Dave.
I quite rate it.
Nice.
I think that's quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've often thought that you could just get I'm pregnant baby on board badge and just wander around.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that bad?
I'd like to see a guy do it just for a
Yeah,
giggle.
get a guy to
and
do it.
you know what is gender, etc. But
I think nowadays, if a man did it, people would be too scared to say
Yeah,
anything.
I
They would
think
just
so,
assume
yeah.
that they
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah, that's
they
so
wouldn't,
true,
They
actually.
wouldn't want to ask any questions.
yeah, yeah,
I'm pregnant.
Yeah, they would just go, "It's not worth the conversation."
yeah. But I
Um,
think that's very clever.
I suppose it's a little bit similar to people who use dead people's blue badges,
Ah,
which, may I just say, my neighbour does.
really?
And she has told me that her mother died.
Wow.
There was uproar. I don't know if she's going to listen to this. There was uproar. She managed to get the council to put a disabled space literally outside her house. Anyway, the second they did it, she then died. But she
Wow.
still parks her car in there. And I sometimes, to fuck with her, park my car in there, but I don't have a blue badge.
Wow.
But I'll look out the window to watch my car in case the traffic warden comes. I wonder if she'll listen to this.
Wow.
But it is a bit that
That is, yeah.
I'm like.
I suppose if it's your own mother that you're stealing from, it's less bad than just a stranger. But yeah, it's still not great, is it?
There were a lot of, where I used to live in London, a lot of disabled badges, and I thought, I know some disabilities aren't visible, but come on, guys.
Yeah.
taking the piss. Well, I got sent a rather mixed bag of.
The ones that you got sent, Liv, were pretty terrifying.
We can
to be
read
honest.
them off quite well.
Right.
Let's just try and
I
get
put
like
up a
quick
Q&A
reactions.
thing
Yeah.
saying, tell me unforgivable stories, or whatever. So someone said,
Oh.
shitting in the sunbed bin,
I don't even know what that means. There's a
Well,
bin in the room with a sun.
and they took a shit in it.
Why
That's
not just
Why?
go to the bathroom?
That's horrible.
Is that because they lock you in there?
But someone also shat in a toasty machine drunk. That's just very odd.
Yeah, that is really odd.
I once cheated on my missus on a work night out to get more business from a client, and it worked.
Wow, I think I'd give him less business.
Yeah.
He's got monkey business.
Yeah.
But I think it often goes wrong with that sort of stuff because egos get... Anyway.
This one was a little niche. I masturbated in my room on my sister's first Holy Communion day during the after party and came.
Wow. The after party of a Holy Communion
Yes.
day. Wow.
There's a lot of emotions flying around.
There's a lot going on there, isn't there? Well, why are they all so sort of...
Gross.
Slept with my girlfriend's younger sister. She was wilder in bed.
No, that's horrible.
That's horrible.
Your fans are horrible.
Yeah.
They're all the side men.
I suppose they're all the sidemen crap, aren't they?
That's horrible.
Yeah, that is bad.
So split with my cheating ex and then slept with all four people I remembered he said he didn't like within a week.
That's brilliant. I'm sorry, but that is brilliant.
Would you ever, as a revenge, if you had a bad breakup, would you sleep with one of his friends?
No, because I'm not going to put myself in, a low vibration situation for somebody else, you know?
Yeah.
If
Well, you
I
don't
fancy
need
them,
to
yes,
anymore.
obviously.
Now you've got
Now you've got 24 vibration.
mojo.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah.
Do you want to do another one?
I'm
I'm a fur freak. What does that even mean?
I don't know. I pay for girls' nails as a way to start a conversation because I'm not good looking enough to need to do it.
Oh, bless
need
I
to-
pay for girls' nails.
To get their nails done. That's
What, you walk
quite
up to a
sweet.
girl and say, can I buy you a manicure?
Manicure.
How long does that take though? That takes a while.
Yeah.
An hour.
Can I buy you a manicure? Yeah. Okay, let's just walk to the nearest nail bar
I'll sit and watch you.
and I'll watch.
That's very sad, and I think that person should get therapy and also know that I've been out with some very ugly men, so it doesn't matter about not that he wants to go out with me, but I just mean
Looks aren't everything.
Looks aren't everything. We've all been out with ugly people, surely. Well, maybe not all of us, but it's not about that, is it?
No, it's
Also,
not.
the older you get, it's so much more about your personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's quite sweet. You've put a nice spin on that.
Well, no, but it is.
Well, he still needs to get therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. Still weird.
Just to believe in himself.
Okay,
I think the
let's do
rest are a little odd.
Let's do a couple more.
Crikey.
One of them says this special confession requires more than a Q&A box.
That was the one about
Can
the
you
Holy
DM me and I'll send it there?
That was the Holy of Communion one.
Oh, so you did?
Yeah. Slept with my ex-boyfriend's brother to get back at him for him getting with my best mate. I don't know if sleeping with family members is sort of...
Well, if he'd slept with her best mate, that's so hurtful.
Yeah, but then to sleep with the sibling.
Yeah.
Well, it's like for like, isn't
Is
it?
it?
Yeah.
I had a friend when we were younger who his girlfriend came over to stay. He was living in a house with like 5 men, and his girlfriend came over to stay, and she got up to go to the loo in the middle of the night and bumped into one of his housemates.
Why do I know this story? Have you
by
told me
the
this
loo?
before?
I might have told you this before. Bumped into one of his housemates by the loo, and then ended up sleeping with him. And he didn't find that out until like a year later, when his friend told him that had happened. But that's not great.
No, that's really not great.
That's not great
Imagine
at
it was
all.
the dad on the way to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's not great.
It's not great, is it?
I would have said like I was sleepwapwalking.
Yeah.
Did you go to university, Lou? Did you have sort
thanks
of
for
wild
asking.
university days?
Just checking my parking. I went to university, yes, which is a surprise to us all.
Did you live in a house with like a load of other
It was
girls?
insane, my university days. I was on a cocktail of drugs constantly. My ball, end of term ball, I was on so many different drugs, I was crawling around the floor.
That's great. That's another good idea for the podcast.
Yeah. But I don't do anything like that now. I don't even do mushrooms or anything.
That's what happens, isn't it? When people they're very into drugs, then they stop everything and they get very into wellness.
Yeah.
I can think of a few people who've done that.
Alex
They get
Mitten.
into ice baths and
Yeah.
But some people like to microdose shrooms,
yeah,
which I keep hearing a lot about.
yeah. That is true.
I don't think it's good for you.
Are you gonna maybe on one of your tour dates you might microdose and go? Have you ever been on
I
stage?
will never do. I threw away a bottle of mushroom oil which was £300 because my healer said you're getting into all sorts of territories there.
No, I told you that story when I sort of got spiked by my neighbours.
Yeah.
Yeah, with shrooms, and I've never considered even trying it since then.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's called plant medicine for a reason.
Plant medicine.
You're supposed to do it with shaman.
Lou, let's quickly plug the tour one more time before we finish.
It's a lovely show. I do think it's good, actually. I'm really excited to take it around the regions.
February till May.
Yeah.
LouSanders.com.
It's got to be.
It's got to be LouSanders.com.
It's got to be /gigs.
/gigs. We don't know if that's absolutely true. But
no, it is.
It is LouSanders.com.
/gigs.
/gigs. There we go. They're all there. And the podcast the podcast has already started. Mm-hmm. It's cool. It's got 2 names.
It's called A Psychic Told Us to Do It, because the psychic did tell us to do it.
And next week you'll actually have the sauna.
I've got the sauna, so just in case getting a guest in it, working out how to film in there.
Yeah. Well, we'll do the best we can to help. Lou, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It's been really fun. Thank
Lou
you.
Sanders.
Less people clapping now. 5 at the start, 2 at the end.